You freaking guys. Welcome back. Got another Transformers gameplay and commentary coming in hot for you. We're rocking the scientists today. I'm going to do kind of a scavenger hunt on this one. At some point during this video, I'm going to reveal who my favorite Transformer of all time is. I'm going to go ahead and pin the first person to drop that Transformer's name down in the comments. Just a little something fun to see who's actually listening to the end. But anyway, on my last live stream, I had mentioned that since I had re-downloaded Fall of Cybertron and started playing multiplayer again on these re-energized servers, my internal clock just felt a little bit off. Like, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I just know how long the time to kill for each class is. Whether I'm taking on a Titan, or a Destroyer, or an Infiltrator, I just feel it in my bones. Much like other shooter games like Call of Duty or anything else, you know what I'm talking about. You just start to internally know when you've done enough damage to kill another player. And in turn, you know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to push, when to get the hell out of dodge. And it got me thinking. I actually started talking out loud on stream about how I feel like they must have done their own rebalancing when putting these servers together. And lo and behold, my gut was right. After I signed off of Twitch, I started hunting through Discord, and I did come across an announcements channel where they had in fact just posted a new patch with balancing and notes to go along with it. The link, by the way, to my Twitch channel where I do said live streams is down in the description below, so definitely drop a follow and come through, chat it up with us. Live streaming is actually my favorite way to do content, if I'm being honest, but I digress. The best part about this newest patch is that it's all about my favorite class, which is the scientist. So let's check it out. They say, "Good day, people." Another Fall of Cybertron patch is here. That is such a wild sentence to not only read, but to say out loud. This is my favorite game of all time, and I am just so happy that it is alive again. After 11 years, it is alive, it is well, and people are playing it online, and it just makes me so happy, so surreal. But they say, well, as promised, we have delivered patch 1.5 goes live today. And they go on to say that this patch is all about scientists. They say scientists have never been a very strong class or even a real threat. Ouch, doing my boy dirty. Like, I always felt like the scientist was perfectly viable as a threat. I always played it as a lone wolf, hyper offensive. I was never a healer, and I did plenty of damage with it. But if you disagree, I will take any buffs that you want to give me all day, every day. Bring it on. But they go on to say that, science has never been really strong. That is unless you find yourself staring at a Titan with a few pocket scientists. And I see where they're going with this. The intent for this patch is to make scientists a lot stronger on its own, but also to cut down on how strong the class tends to make the Titan. We've pushed some changes to every weapon and ability that the class has to offer. So without further ado, the patch. So basically, I'm not going to read every single numerical value to everything that they changed. I'm not going to go super deep dive nitty gritty on it, just kind of give this an overview. But the moral of the story is that they're nerfing the Titan by, both buffing and nerfing the scientist. One of the most impossible combos to bring down in this game is two players playing as scientist and Titan together. A scientist using the heal beam and a Titan, both that can play well and know what they're doing. That the scientist just keeps that Titan at perfect full health the entire time, and it's just such a formidable combo, and you just don't have enough ammunition to take that down. You're constantly reloading or swapping weapons or both, and in that amount of time, any good Titan player can get right on top of you. The drawback to being a Titan is supposed to be that you're a bigger class and you're slower. But people who really know how to use the Titan can move pretty quickly with a Titan, especially with, like the forward dodge and things of that nature. And when they're coming at you, bearing down with that Energon Reharvester, coupled with a scientist that's constantly keeping them at full health, you just cannot do enough damage on your own. So I see where they're going with this. The big takeaways here is that the Neutron Assault Rifle and the Photon Burst Rifle, both the weapons that I use the most, have had the amount of ammo in their clips doubled. The Neutron Assault Rifle is 150% from 14 to 35, Burst Rifle from 6 to 12, which is 100% increase. That's amazing. I will take that all day, every day. That'll go a long way towards actually being able to throw down 1v1 with a Titan. Then they go on to talk about the orbital pistol and the gear shredder. I'm not really going to dive into those too much. The overview, the moral of the story is that the orbital pistol now does more damage with successive shots than it did before. I did notice last night that more and more people are using the orbital pistol now, so maybe it's worth investigating. I'll let you know if I mess around with it and I decide that it's better than it was before. But it's never really been one of my favorite weapons, so we'll see on that one. The gear shredder, again, not one of my favorite weapons. I feel like it's really spammy, and when I used to use it back in the day on Xbox 360, people would get pissed. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, you're just ripping through people and it's almost not even fun. So the fact that that's been buffed is kind of interesting. I'd imagine I might start seeing more gear shredders online as well, but we'll see how that goes. But then you move on to the abilities. They talk about the heal beam. Again, I'm not going to read all of the specifics in the numbers. They just say that this change is meant to make the heal beam a little more focused on the benefits to the scientist itself. You'll heal your team a little bit less, but you'll get more out of it yourself. So again, they're basically nerfing how much health that you can give to your teammates while making it more worthwhile for yourself, because you get some perks of using the heal beam that kick in. As you heal your teammates, you get benefits as well. I'm not going to worry about that too much because I've always played as an offensive threat and I never use the heal beam. I always use the sentry, and this is where it gets interesting for me. In this gameplay, you'll notice that I'm using the rust sentry because the rust sentry is my way of nerfing basically and slowing down Titans. It can keep them from being in my face. I can back off, I can dodge backwards, I can stay in that medium to long range, while the rust sentry slows them down. And if I have to reload or swap weapons, I have more time to do so. In this scenario, I'm looking at a damage increase from the power core upgrade. They've gone from 1.4 to 1.55, so that's 37.5% more damage from the typical power core upgrade on the sentry as opposed to the rust. And then having twice as much ammo in the clip, I feel like I might actually have the firepower now to just throw down with a regular sentry and my photon burst rifle. I might actually have what it takes to take down a Titan without having to worry about constantly swapping weapons or reloading. I just have enough damage to get it done from the get-go in a quick and efficient manner. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to test these changes out and I'll let you know how I feel about it, but I'm excited about it. I've always been able to play perfectly sufficient as a scientist as is, so I'm excited to see how much more damage I can do now that they've buffed my homie. They go on to say that there's actually another patch coming soon that will, quote, be our biggest yet, and it's going to bring a little something to every weapon, ability, and class in the game. This is just really good stuff. I have to say I'm really intrigued by what they're going to do with these future patches, but man, these guys are doing really, really hard work on these servers, and I love it. My favorite Transformer is Ironhide, by the way, but it's just so awesome to see fresh life being breathed back into my favorite game of all time. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this commentary for now. Drop a like if you made it this far. It'll help YouTube start to realize that it needs to recommend my content to Transformers crowds instead of the Pokemon crowd. And let me know down below if you've been playing on these servers and how the balancing feels to you. But until I see your beautiful face again through the power of the internet, do me a favor. Always wash your hands when you want to eat, but always keep them dirty enough to see where the hell you come from. Think about that. Until we meet again, peace.